Okay, this little intro that I want to show. Okay, so I want you to find the slope of that line. So remember what a slope is. It's rise over run. Okay, so go to the left side of your graph. This is left. The first point, that's point 1, that's point 2. Okay, because I always want to do the run forward. That's why I do it that way. Okay. So the rise will have to go down, so it'll be expressed as negative. So -1, -2, -3. Okay, so -3 is your rise. And then your run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so -3 over 6, but I want that reduced. Okay, if you are absolutely clueless with fractions, here's all you gotta do to reduce it. It's dividing, okay? 3 and 6 are both in the third row, okay? Those are both in the third row, so I reduce it by the greatest common factor of 3. So it's actually -1 over 2. That's your slope. See, because it goes -3 to 6, but you also, I mean, look at this first point. If I go down 1, forward 2, I'm there. Down 1, forward 2, I'm there. Down 1, forward 2. Okay, so I actually simplify the ratio. You didn't have to do that on the first assignment, but you will. Now, today's assignment is going to tell you the 2 points. It's going to give you coordinates, and you have to find the slope without a graph. Okay, so 4, 2, and 6, 8. Now I'm going to show you what the heck that's talking about. You just need to watch, okay? So I'm going to find the slope on a graph, but obviously you don't have a graph, so you're not going to be finding it. You just need to kick back and watch this one problem. Okay, these are x, y coordinates. So x, here's positive, here's negative. Y, here's positive, here's negative. So +4, 2. So you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. 6, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So this is coordinate 4, 2. This is 6, 8. Okay, now I'm going to take my straight edge and make a line for that. And our job is to figure out the slope of the line. Now, from the left side, this is the first point, okay? Point 1, point 2. So it's rise over run. So I'd have to go up, so I count my positives with the rise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So +6 is my rise. Then the run 1, 2. Now remember, a slope you don't want to just divide. You want to see if it can be reduced. Okay, so 6 and 2. 2 and 6 are both in the second row, so you would divide those each by 2. That would be 3 over 1. I want to see the 1 there. Okay, so that's your slope, 3 over 1. Now how are you going to get that without the graph? Well, that's a good question. Okay, let me tell you about that. You want to label it x, y, x, y. Now, the formula you are going to apply is y minus y, x minus x. You're going to write that down, okay? Because y is the axis that rises, x is the axis that runs across, okay? That's why that is. So it's got to be the y's on top. Now, you're like, well, what do I start with? Well, you're going to underline your x point. Start with the higher x when you apply this. Start with the higher x. You're going to put 8 on top, 6 on bottom. That's before the minus. Now, after the minus signs, you put 2 on top, 4 on bottom. Okay? Now you can either just subtract. If you want to go plus negative, you can, but I just subtract. You guys are good enough to do that. So that's 6 over 2, and now I reduce it. So 6 and 2 are both in the second row, so we divide by 2. That's 3 over 1. Now, I want you to put equals. There's a letter that defines a slope, and I don't know why they picked this letter, but it is. Slope is defined by m, okay? So put equals m after your answer. Okay, our next one, -3, 0, and 2, -5. So this is x, this is y. This is x, this is y. So y minus y, x minus x. You're going to want to write that down every single time. Then line up your minuses and underline your x coordinates. -3 and 2. Okay, so 2 is the greater value of the x's. So I put -5 on top, 2 on bottom. Okay, now 0 on top after the minus, -3 on bottom after the minus. So if I take -5 minus 0, that's -5. 2 minus -3, remember that's like 2 plus 3, and that's 5. Now you're going to reduce it. Now since it's the exact same number essentially, you're going to divide by 5. So when you end up with the same number, you don't need to look at your chart. You're going to divide them down by 5. So it's going to be -1 over 1 equals m. Okay. Okay, next problem. We have -5, 3, -8, 10. Okay, so xy, xy, and to find the slope, we do y minus y, x minus x. So we're still finding the slope, we just don't have a graph to look at. Okay, -5 is x, -8 is y. -5 is a higher value than -8, so I start here. Now you're like, why do you start with the higher x? The reason why is because I don't want a negative in the denominator on bottom, okay? And if I start with my higher x, I won't get that. So -5 on bottom, 3 on top. Then after the minuses, we put a 10 on top, -8 on bottom. So 3 minus 10, that's -7. -5 minus -8, no, it's actually -5 plus 8, which is 3. Now 3 and 7, the only common factor they have is 1. 3 and 7. It is stupid to divide by 1 because it would just be the same. If I take a number divided by 1, it's just itself. So this is in simplified form for a slope. So -7 over 3. Okay, next one, you've got 9, 4, 0, 1. Basically, this is skills practice. So y minus y, x minus x. This is used throughout the unit, okay? So compare x as 9 and 0. Well, 9's the higher value, so we will be starting with this. So 4 on top, 9 on bottom. Then after the minus signs, okay? 1 on top, 0 on bottom. So 4 minus 1 is 3, 9 minus 0 is 9. Now look up 3 and 9, those are both in the third row, so you can reduce those by 3, and it's 1 over 3. So 1/3 equals m, okay? Okay, next one you're going to get something weird, -2, 5, okay, I wrote that wrong, -2, 5, and -2, 10. Okay, so y minus y, x minus x. So I compare the x's, well they're equal values, so it doesn't matter what you start with. So -2 and 10. Then -2 and 5. 10 minus 5 is 5. Make that plus plus. -2 plus 2 is 0. Now obviously the multiplication chart doesn't help because there's no zeros on there. When you get a 0, I don't care if it's on top or bottom, take your calculator and divide it. If it says error, then m is undefined. Means the slope is undefined. That means it's, and I'll show you why it's undefined, okay, on a graph. I'll show you what the heck that means. So I'm going to plot those points. X, negative here, positive here, y, positive, negative. Okay, so negative 2, 5. So negative 2 on x is here. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Negative 2, 10. So negative 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now if I made a line out of that, there's no slope to that line. It's undefined because it goes straight up and down. Okay? But count on that. You count on this formula here to take you to that if you just use your calculator. Now the next one's the same situation is going to happen, but it's going to be a little different than the last one. Okay, when we compare x's, 6 is higher than 4. So we go negative 4 on top, 6 on bottom. Then after the subtraction signs, negative 4 is on top, 4 is on bottom. So negative 4 plus 4 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. Now, still don't write undefined. Use your calculator. 0 divided by 2 is 0. So I didn't get the error message this time. So I write m equals 0. Okay. Now I'm going to explain what a line with a slope of 0. So a line with an undefined slope looks like that. A line with a slope of 0. Okay, let's do the same thing. Just watch me, okay? Okay, so 6, negative 4, so I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, negative 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the lines are straight across from each other. This is what a line with a slope of 0 looks like. It goes straight across. Okay? So straight up and down is undefined. Straight across is 0. So there's a difference. Okay? Just take your calculator when you have a 0 and see what the calculator says. Normally if 0 is on bottom, it's going to be an undefined. If 0 is on top, then it's just a slope of 0. Okay, then let's keep her rolling. So we got 1, 2, and 7, 7. Okay, y minus y, x minus x. So 1 in comparison with 7, 7's higher. So 7 on top, 7 on bottom. Then 2 on top, 1 on bottom. So that ends up as 5 over 6. Now 5 and 6 are only in the first row, so I don't divide. I just put 5, 6 equals m. Okay, 3, 4, negative 5, 0. X, Y. Remember, it's always X, Y. X comes before Y in the alphabet, so X, Y, Z, so it's X, Y. Then Y minus Y, X minus X. Okay, 3, negative 5. 3's higher, so 4 on top, 3 on bottom. Then 0 on top, negative 5 on bottom. So 4 minus 0 is 4 equals 3 minus negative 5 is like 3 plus 5, that's 8. Now look up 4 and 8. Now, they are both in the second row, but they are further down. You need to go the greatest factor possible. Because they're in the second row together, but they're also in a row further down. 4 and 8 are both in the fourth row. Okay? So we'd want to divide by 4, not by 2. So to reduce it as simple as I can. So that'd be 1 over 2 or 1/2. Okay, 3 more. Okay, so we have 3 with 1 and negative 5 with 3. So x, y, x, y. Y minus y, x minus x. Okay, decide what point you should put here. You go with look at your x's. Comparing 3 with negative 5, 3's higher, so I'd go 1 on top, 3 on bottom, because it's y over x. Then after the minuses, we're going to have y over x. 1 minus 3 is negative 2, plus that, that's 8. Now 2 and 8, so here's 2, 8, so it'd be in the second row. So it'd be negative 1/4 m equals, you keep the negative in there, okay? You keep the negative. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Okay, then negative 5, negative 4, 1, negative 2. Really, it's a pretty repetitive process, but it's a process that has to be mastered before you move on. Okay, negative 5, 1. 1's higher, so negative 2 on top, 1 on bottom. Then negative 4 on top after the minus, negative 5 on bottom. Okay, if you have that minus with the negative, plus plus. So negative 2 plus 4 is 2. 1 plus 5 is 6. Now 2 and 6 is not in simplest form because it's in the second row together, so you could reduce it by 2. Divide by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. 6 divided by 2 is 3. And m equals 1/3 would be your slope. Okay, last one. Negative 6, negative 6, negative 2, negative 2. Okay, negative 6, negative 2. Negative 2 is a higher value than negative 6 is. So negative 2 on top, negative 2 on bottom. Then after the minuses, we're going to have negative 6, negative 6. So plus plus, it's negative 2 plus 6, that's 4. And then the same thing on bottom, 4. Now again, I'll repeat that. When you have the same number, you're going to divide by that number. So it'll be 1/1. Okay.